There you are.
Hi.
How are you?
Well, I am quite surprised that I could get ready on time because I just finished working out, and and I thought I'll be late, but then Shreya said that you're going to take about 5 more minutes, so I was happy. It's such a pleasure. I've seen a
Yeah,
couple of
and
your live chats, and I absolutely adore you. So it's a pleasure.
oh wow, thank you so much. I mean, I am like, can I say I'm just in love with you right now? Because I've been like watching your videos and watching your performances and loving every single thing that you say and do. It's just so amazing. Like you have one big fan sitting here in front of you wanting to talk to you, and you're looking absolutely gorgeous. Let me start with that first.
Thank you so
Um,
much. That's really sweet.
so what I'm also really excited about is that this conversation is going to be so inspiring for the 40 lakh Rakshins that we are reaching out to across India. So whether they're here today or they get to see this later, I'm sure our
I can,
conversation is going to be something
yes.
which,
I'm sorry, but I can see a lot of my
yeah.
friends, and actually, Adeline is here, who is the reigning Miss India and who's going to represent our country.
Ah,
Um, and I can see
oh,
a lot of my
lovely.
friends from all over the world. uh, Guilherme is here from,
How
well,
brilliant
from
is
every,
that?
yes, yes. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry if the network is a little bad. Like, let me just warn you, the network is pretty bad. So I
Mm,
hope we don't get interrupted.
mm. I know, so do I. So do I, because I've really been waiting for this conversation here. But can I just very quickly, like for everybody else, just introduce, most of the people here know you, but just for going forward, if I can give a small brief introduction about you, Sushant.
Sure.
So you are a singer, performing artist, actor, LGBTQIA plus activist, and India's first mainstream drag queen performer known as Rani Kohinoor. I love her. You are currently involved with auditioning, mentoring, and training younger drag queens and aim to make drag a more accessible art form in the country. In 2014, you won Mr. Gay India. In 2019, you made your international debut. In the same year, released your single I'm Coming Out. You're widely known from your Big Boss and Saregamapa reality shows. I remember the story about that young girl wanting a photograph with you, with Rani, and the parents wanting a photograph with Sushant. I love that
Yes.
story. And you
Yes.
have been and you have been included in the Forbes 30 under 30 Asia list. Congratulations. That's a lot,
Thank
Sushant.
you.
So proud
Thank
to
you.
know
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Um, So I always do this. I mean, there are so many superlatives that have been just used to describe who you are. But if I was to ask you to define yourself in just 3 words, just three
Three
words,
words.
who's Sushant?
I I would say fierce, fun, and fabulous.
Say that again.
I said fierce, fun, and fabulous.
Fierce. Okay.
Yep.
Very nice. Lovely. Fierce, fun, and fabulous. Yeah, yeah. Um, would would your parents or family I mean, who's contributed to these 3 words? Who would you say has contributed to these 3 words today?
I think everybody, especially I mean I should add focus because of my parents. If there was a fourth, I mean like there was a fourth
Mm-hmm.
word, but I think I should
Okay.
add
All right.
focus
Granted.
for my parents, and I would
Yeah.
say fierce is
Mm.
I didn't have any choice. I had to be fierce if I wanted to survive in the entertainment industry, because there's a lot of people that
Mm-hmm.
doubt you. There's a lot of people that try and bring you down when you're like on your way up, and
Mm.
there's a lot of people that I don't know,
Yeah.
can't for some reason see people succeeding, and which is why I didn't have a choice. It's not like I had a choice and I one day woke up to be fierce. It just like sort of started becoming muscle memory that I had to just be fierce and say that
Mm-hmm.
and just own myself and my authenticity. And fun because the people that I grew up around, and the people that the people that I interacted with throughout my journey were like a lot of fun, and I learned how to have fun and just be fun loving in the process, because I just can't be toxic and boring, and I just can't. It's just I've
Yeah,
tried being that. I've tried being very mellow,
yeah,
because sometimes you are like, I take a break from, of course, socializing
yes.
altogether. And that's
Hmm,
one of those
hmm,
days I just don't want to talk to anybody. But that doesn't mean that I'm not fun.
hmm,
I would consider
hmm,
myself to be a lot of fun and
hmm,
fabulous. I mean,
hmm,
uh,
hmm.
I am, and it's just, I think,
Yes.
mm, yes. So,
Yeah. So going back to your mother, tell me something about your parents. Like I've heard that they're, you mentioned that you tasted acceptance after 14 years of struggle, and you come from a family of swimming champions and water sports, and you also have a wall of trophies and medals
I
in
wish
your
I could
house. The
show you
wall of
that.
fame is there. So I wish I could see that. So
Yeah,
it's a super achievement environment, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? So what was it
it
like growing up
is.
there?
I mean, although my father has represented India at the at the international level for the SAF games, and there was this
Hmm.
this series that I keep forgetting, but he was part of the Indian water polo team. My mother is an international philatelist. In fact, she has won an Olympic
Wow.
medal for philately, which nobody wants to talk about. But I mean, she's still a medalist, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
I had two wonderful parents. I have two wonderful parents that I'm born to, and I'm very fortunate that
Hmm.
you know. I
Hmm.
was born into this family, which was so progressive, and
Hmm.
which just
Hmm.
basically gave my brother and I unconditional love and support, and said that
Hmm.
you don't have to do this just because we did it. You can do whatever you want to do, but just make sure that you're happy and you're
Brilliant.
safe. And
Brilliant.
that's my parents, and
Brilliant. I mean,
I'm not
yeah,
exaggerating when I say that my parents are honestly the best parents that a children can have.
absolutely. It is just so evident. It is just so evident from the comfort that you have, the comfort that you exude and everything that you're achieving. It's just so evident that it's coming from a childhood which was unconditionally accepting and non-judgmental, you know. But but you do mention 14 years of struggle as well, many
Yes.
places. What do those indicate? What were those years?
I started off when I was 16,
Mm-hmm.
as a dancer, and I put my body through. I mean, like before that, I used to do. I'd learned 4 forms of martial arts, and then and then I was
Wow.
a swimmer, a national level swimmer, um,
Hmm.
and then I got into dancing, and then a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, but you're a
Hmm.
boy, and you shouldn't do ballet." And I was like, "And who are you?" I mean, I don't even know you. Like, who are you to even make this assumption? And and my parents were just so supportive. They said, "You do whatever you want. Like, you want to dance, you want to sing, you want to
Hmm.
say." And the best part was my father actually, when I wanted to do my masters, eventually when I went ahead and did my
Hmm.
masters and became a certified counselor and a psychologist. Simultaneously, I used to go for my shooting, which was in Chakala, and I live in Bandra. I used to go to Chakala. Then
Hmm.
sometimes I used to have to go to Goregaon, and I was just like 18, 19, at this point. And I wanted to do my masters, and then I
Hmm.
was already on TV. And my
Hmm.
father was like, "But why are you studying so much? You're never going to use these degrees." And I was like, "You never know." And I said, "But for me, getting my degrees was not like a task. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that I don't, there are a lot of people, the children nowadays, that I tell
Yeah.
them, like, we're a decade
Yeah.
apart at least. And I keep telling them
Hmm.
that, don't just go to college because your counterparts are going to college. If you don't want to go to college, don't go to
Hmm.
college. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your parents' money, and don't fool yourself. Don't live in a world of delusion. I think that it's a,
Hmm.
it's a it's a criminal waste of time and money to just follow a trend. Like, and this I don't understand. Like, everybody wants to send their child to school and college, but what if your child wants to be a dancer? And why not? Like, why don't you train your child and send him to dance school or to her to dance school?
Absolutely.
So, I had beautiful, wonderful parents, but people from the outside were not as kind to me because I was unique, and I won't say different. And because I was unique, I was obviously subject to,
Lovely.
and I exposed myself because I was so openly flamboyant and so fabulous, which I love, that people couldn't digest it. For some reason, people can't digest when they see somebody else happy. There is that breed of people, that can't see people. Oh my God, how is this person so comfortable with themselves? Maybe because they're not very comfortable with themselves. And this is why when I say that, people who have been homophobic, in my journey, through my journey, and that have, tried to kind of bring me down, I just actually empathize. I'm like, you can only hate on someone. Hate is such a strong word, first of all. You can only dislike or you can only hate on someone when you don't come from a place of love yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you have your limitations, those are the people who are actually not able to actually accept others because they're imprisoned with their own limitations, aren't they?
Right, absolutely. And I said that, I felt so bad that, I didn't feel bad that, I was being told and called all of these things. Even on set, like I'll never forget, there was this one show I did, and I was probably the youngest male openly gay TV host to be nominated for the Indian Television Awards. And I was 20 years old or something. And then somebody on my set said something very nasty to me, with regards to my orientation. And my director was a woman. And she just called him to the control room and said that pack your belongings and you can leave, because we don't want people that don't understand that art is art. And I've also had people that have, I have also had people that have supported me through my journey. So I have encountered all sorts of people. Trust me, I'm 29. Well, for the next 6 days at least. I will turn 30 at the end of the month. But yeah, but I'm still 29.
Yes.
Thank you. But I have literally seen so many people that are, which has just taught me to sort of accept and to respect people for who they are. And I can't say that I hate this one or I hate that one. I just feel bad for them. I'm like, too bad. Like, you can't feel so strongly about someone you don't know unless you come from a place of extreme hate yourself or not being loved. So I feel bad for them.
Yes. I mean, and you had love in your childhood, and that's, I think, where all this grounding and this rooting has come from. So more power to your parents and your brother, and but just one brother?
One brother.
You just have an older brother?
I have an older
brother. So more power to your family. More power to your family. So Sushant, you are India's first mainstream drag queen. Like, how does it feel even? Like, if somebody just says this, like, how does it even feel like?
Well, I feel like it's long overdue. Someone had to do it. Someone had to do it. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm like why didn't we have somebody before me? We're in 2020, and I'm just like, music has no boundaries. Music has no orientation. Music has no gender. Music has no class, caste, nothing. Music has no boundaries at all. So why do we, and I'm a musician, I'm an artist, and art has no barriers.
Absolutely.
Art has no boundaries. So why do we create this mess for ourselves? I really fail to understand. I cannot fathom that somebody will actually take the time out to sit and actually dissect somebody's pros and cons. Why don't you work on yourself? And it's crazy that you'll invest so much time in trying to bring somebody down and stuff. And then I have taken laps around them because I don't give a damn, honestly. It's I just can't. I can't invest my energy and my youth. I'm not somebody like a Zeenat Aman who
Yeah.
can be forever youthful. I know I have a couple of years and I have to like really do my job and my job over here is to entertain people. There's a reason that I have been given this talent, and I have been blessed by the
Yes.
Almighty with this wonderful talent that I have. Why am I going to waste it, and why am I going to waste my voice on someone that I don't know and doesn't probably listens to me, enjoys my music, but wants to kind of publicly shame me? So I'm like,
Yeah.
go ahead, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You ain't paying my bills.
Lovely, lovely. So, just for my young viewers who will be reaching out and looking at this, could you just talk about what is drag? Like when you say a drag queen, just explain it a little bit for
So drag is an art
us.
form, just like Kalaripayattu is an art form, is like Kathakali is a
Yes.
performance art, Bharatnatyam is a dance form. So is drag. Now drag is a form of self-expression and it's a performance art. It's not just cross-dressing. You know, uh, Drag
Yes.
is not just cross dressing. Drag is creating a character, creating an alter ego, going on
Mm.
stage, performing. Now, the performance could be anything. It could be spoken word, it could be stand up comedy, it could be singing, dancing, lip syncing. But you have to understand the drag. When a lot of people that I see and they don't understand what drag is, you don't have to understand anything. It's like, I could be Sushant, for example. I could go like this on stage and somebody might just think this is also drag, because my thing is drag is self-expression. Now there are a lot of
Yes.
people who are like, oh, but drag queens wear so much makeup and such wigs and these clothes and that. No, drag is your expression of your alter ego. You express yourself the way you
Excellent.
want to. I can't decide how you want to express
Perfect.
yourself. So, and the thing is that people need to understand, this is for people who will watch this all over. I just want to say that
Mm.
nobody has graduated from a university of drag, because drag is a form of self-expression. Please don't cage people
Perfect.
or cage artists and say that because you're a drag artist also, you have to be a gay man, or you have to dress up like this, or you have to do this, or you have to only lip sync. No, drag is an art form which is the most diverse. And let me tell you, it is just so sad that we don't realize that drag has been part of our cultural heritage for centuries, right from time immemorial. I can't even remember from since when, because our kings and queens had men perform as women. Yes, because it was a regressive society where women were not allowed to perform in the king's courts.
Yeah.
You know, that is the downside
Mm-hmm.
for the women.
Mm-hmm.
But the upside is, the
Mm-hmm.
plus side is that drag has been part of our culture forever, forever.
Ever.
And even our
Forever. Excellent.
gods, even you see in our mythology, even our gods have cross-dressed and danced. And the synergy.
Mm, they
And then
have.
people say this is not part of our culture, this is not part of our religion. Why are you complicating things? It's not supposed to, even if it was not part of your culture. First of all, I want to question these people that think that India is
Yeah.
known for anything other than their art and culture. We are only known for our culture abroad. We are not known for our fantabulous and forever increasing GDP, because it's not, and or our economic reforms or our human rights. We are not known for all any of this. We are known for our culture, and this is part of our culture. Why can't we embrace it? I don't understand how
Yes.
Indians, my fellow Indians, live in a bubble. They live in a bubble. They live in
Yeah.
a land of
Yeah.
delusion. In their own head, they feel that they have made up
Yeah.
these rules for themselves and they are comfortable with it. So whoever
Mm.
doesn't abide and whoever is not heteronormative according to them is wrong.
Yeah.
And I would just like to tell them
Absolutely.
and
This
all
toxic
these
sense of masculinity. Yeah.
masculinity and patriarchy, and I'm not saying all men are bad, because
Yes.
just like most homophobic men
Yeah.
think all gays or all gay men are the same. Well, I would just like to tell these men that believe that all gay men are out there too
Mm.
as predators. I mean, I just want to tell them, have you seen the Like, have you seen my accomplishments? Do you think that somebody like me would even just, let's get very real. Why are you scared of me? And it's a phobia because it's an irrational fear. I am not probably even going to look your way. So
Yes, it
please,
is.
please, yeah, I don't understand how men are like, in this delusional world. You know, who are you scared of?
Yes,
You're scared of your damn self. You're scared of acknowledging the
yes,
fact that you're trying to tell me that if you are so straight and if I enter a room, are you going to turn and become gay if you look at me? Is that so fragile? Is your orientation so fragile? Then, I mean, then there's an issue with you, not with me. I am
yes,
amazing in my skin and I love it. And the worst part is
absolutely.
these homophobic men treat gay men,
Yeah.
in a way which they're scared of gay men because they feel that we are going to treat them like they treat women,
Yeah. Yes.
you know, and
Hmm.
like, catcalling them or, just touching them like that. And this is also, and like our media has made us look like we're some predators. So that's also, they have to take the
That's so
onus of
true.
that. They must
That's
take
so
the
true.
onus. And
Absolutely.
I just want to
Absolutely.
tell people that, I'm a mental health professional. I have had a job in a big five company before along with the fact that I was hosting my TV shows and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter whether you're gay, straight, bi, lesbian, transgender. At the end of the day, I'm not going to enter the room or enter an interview and say, "Hi, I'm Sushant and I'm gay." That's not the first thing about me. I'm Sushant and I'm confident, I'm educated, I am beautiful, I'm gorgeous, I'm stunning, and that is the truth. And I might happen to be gay. But that's not something that you are
Absolutely.
expected to say when you
Absolutely.
walk into the room. That is what
No.
I have a problem with this
No.
heteronormative behavior, is that when a straight person, when a
Absolutely.
heterosexual walks into the room, they don't identify themselves and say that, "Hi, I am, Shweta," or "I'm straight," and I'm straight. That's not you. You don't do that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
um, why are we still, stuck
Yeah.
in the medieval times? In fact, the medieval times were probably much better than
Absolutely.
this.
We don't know, but tell me something. I mean, do you see drag changing the perceptions about sex and gender in India at some point?
Well, I certainly hope so. Um, because as I said, in
Hmm.
our in our mythology,
What if
and
drag was
in
to
our,
become mainstream?
it is becoming mainstream. I
What
am
if drag was
mainstream,
to become, yeah.
and just please listen. Like, I keep saying this to people also when they when my introduction also says that I'm mainstream. I mean, we've always been part of, I don't understand. Do I drink gay water? Was I drinking gay water? Or am I wearing gay clothes? Am I breathing gay air? So, what is mainstream? Mainstream is you and me. And the
Yep.
fact that,
Absolutely.
we choose to marginalize, that needs to stop. We need to stop
Yeah.
compartmentalizing sub-communities and minorities
Yes.
and saying that you are not worth
Mm.
it and this is not happening and that is not happening. Well, I'll make it happen and I'll show you how it
Right.
happens. But the thing is that we need to identify what is wrong and correct it. We shouldn't sit on a high horse and say that, this is wrong and this is never going to improve. That I have a problem with.
Mm.
Like, I don't like people who are like, "Oh my god, this is wrong, that is wrong, this is wrong, that is wrong." Yeah, but what are you doing to help it? Like, for example, if I'm saying that this is wrong, people's
Absolutely.
mindsets are
Yeah.
skewed negatively, then I'm making an effort to go and
Mm.
change it.
Mm.
But what are other people doing? There are
Yes.
other people
And
that
you're
only
informing them.
complain.
Yeah, you're informing them, you're talking about it, you're just being you. So yes, you are doing a lot about that. So I mean, Rani, can I talk about Rani a little bit? Rani Kohinoor?
Of course, of course.
She's so beautiful and so much fun she is. What is the story behind that? Just take us there a little bit.
As a kid, I always was fascinated with the female energy and femininity, and the women, according to me, are the best creations that God could have given us. The
Mm.
you know And I wish, whenever people say that, it was Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. And I'm like, I wish we had only Eves, then we would not wouldn't have had to. Honestly, like it's just like, oh my God, you need an Adam and an Eve to make a baby and all of that rubbish and, and all of that. I was like, oh God, what are these people on really? Like in this century and in this day and age, can you imagine? So, I wanted to challenge gender stereotypes and, the heteronormative toxicity that is present in our society. And I said
Yes.
that I cannot expect things to
Yes.
change around me if I don't make an effort to change them myself. And I said, I've been given, I
Brilliant.
can't stand, and I must use this platform, and whichever platform I'm on, I keep saying this. I can't understand star kids or, some privileged kids that say that we're not privileged. Oh, we have extra pressures. I feel like giving them one tight slap. I'm not a star kid, okay? My dad was a government servant. We
Hmm.
were middle class people.
Hmm.
And yes, of course, then he worked his backside off to give us the life that we have today. We've also worked our bums off. We always thought we were very poor, okay? My brother and I
Right.
always thought we were very poor. And that's okay to think like that, because then you value what you have.
Yes.
And you know that you're privileged enough to have a
Absolutely.
damn roof on your head, and for you to say you're not privileged. I live in a metropolitan city, one of the best cities in the world. Okay, I have had an education. I have had the privilege of having a loving family. I've had wonderful friends. I've had wonderful role models to look up to and emulate. I've been fortunate enough to emulate them and them see it. How am I
Hmm.
not privileged?
Hmm.
How can I say I'm not privileged? So
Right.
my thing is that, when we
Right.
don't identify our privilege, that is where we really screw up. So I wanted to show
Yeah.
through Rani,
Yeah.
when Rani happened, I wanted to show people that I am not a bichara. I don't want your sympathy. I don't want your nothing. I want to show you that because you've put me down and you've said that a boy cannot do this, cannot wear makeup, cannot wear this beautiful lipstick, lip shade, and some mascara, I'm going to do it even more. I wanted to rile people up, and on the other side of the bed, and I wanted to kind of make them uncomfortable, because I wanted to tell them that this is a reality, and you have to
It
take
is.
it with a pinch or a bucket of salt, but you need to understand that you need to respect people. You have to learn to respect people.
Hmm.
My 7-year-old niece today knows who, when I'm in drag, I'm Rani, and when I'm out of it, I'm Sushant. She's 7. So we can't
Right.
tell, we can't say that, oh no, but our children don't know about this. So, that's why they bully other children and, who are different and unique and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, but what are you all doing
Hmm.
as parents?
Yeah.
Our parents never, in fact, I'll go ahead and say this. When I was
Yes.
younger, I thought that
Hmm.
Falguni Pathak was a man.
Hmm.
Okay. But that was a man I wanted to
Okay.
be like.
Hmm.
Okay. When I was a kid, I said,
Right.
if this uncle can sing in such a
Right.
beautiful voice, I also want to sing like this. She used to enter, I remember, on a bike,
Lovely.
and she used to come in this,
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
challenging gender norms back then in the 90s.
Then
Now whether she's
absolutely.
straight, gay, I
Absolutely.
don't
Yes.
care. But she gave me, a child like me, the courage and said that I want to be like that uncle. Then I got like shouted at by my
Brilliant.
mother and said she's a girl, she's a woman, she's a lady. And this is what she wants to wear because she's
Yeah.
comfortable wearing it. Because I remember asking her, but if she's a girl, why is she wearing this loose jacket like dad? And like, why is she wearing these baggy pants like my
Huh.
brother? So she's like,
Right.
because that's her body,
Right.
she wants to wear that. My mother just said, that's none of your business. You listen to the song. We are here to listen to the
Hmm.
song. We are here to enjoy the music. You enjoy the music and don't attach labels. And she said, who said? And then
Lovely.
from then on, she used to dress me up for all my fancy dress competitions. In Little Mermaid, as Barbie, as Snow White, and then
Oh.
I just was like, okay. And then sometimes I used to also be,
Oh, beautiful.
I was also, yeah, like the Power
Right.
Rangers and Ninja Turtles and stuff. So I was very fluid. My parents were so amazing
Yeah.
when we used to go shopping for toys, my brother and
Absolutely
myself.
amazing.
They
Yeah.
used to let us pick up
Yeah.
anything. And that's what I want the next generation to look at Rani Kohinoor on stage and say, wow, if she can do it, then we definitely can do it.
Yes.
Because I had stage fright. I had to go to
Yes.
counseling in school because I had the best voice in school, I remember.
Really?
But I used to choke.
Yes.
I have
Right.
lost all my competitions till I was a certain age because I just choked and I used to run off stage. But now look at me, I can't,
Really?
you have to tell me to shut up. Otherwise, I'll go on.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Not that I want to, but I definitely do want to hear you singing sometime. Would you sing
Ooh.
for us something?
Of course. Oh God, I should have carried my music with me. Like, I mean, I should have carried my speakers. Um,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, this is from Naika. I'm just sorry. Someone's just asked me my lipstick shade. This is
Yeah.
Harsh B
Okay.
Kaur. This is from Naika. I don't remember, but
Hmm.
it's like this orangish red color. It's beautiful, and it's matte. It's just stays whether you work
Hmm.
out,
It's
swim, do
lovely.
whatever.
Yeah,
It
it's
stays.
matte. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Really.
So.
Okay. Hmm.
I'll sing this wonderful song, which is sung by, it's
Hmm.
picturized on one of my favorite, all-time favorite, legendary, and I've had the privilege of meeting her, dancing in front of her, and her gifting me one of
Oh.
her own Kanjivaram saris, Rekha ji, the legendary.
Oh.
And so I'm going to
Absolutely.
sing a song which is from one of
Lovely.
her, it's called Kaisi Paheli
Hmm.
Zindagani.
Oh, my favorite. Please. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely.
नहीं 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 ये बातें हैं पुरानी
Hmm.
कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी ना 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 थामा रोका इसको किसने था ये तो बहता पानी कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी ला 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 zoo 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 पीले इसे इसमें नशा जिसने पिया वो गम में भी हंसा पल में हंसाई और पल में रुलाई ये कहानी कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी
Brilliant. Beautiful. It's my favorite
Thank
song, and
you.
it's just become more favorite now all of a sudden. Yes, it's lovely.
Thank
Um,
you.
so you're mentoring. You said you're mentoring young drags. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing over there?
What I do is there are a lot of young, very talented artists that come from all over the country, and in the hopes of making it big. And when someone like me, if I had
Mm-hmm.
to turn around and say that I'm not privileged, they'll just look at me and be like, "Are you mad?" So this
Mm-hmm.
is what I feel about star kids. Like they have to stop saying they're not privileged. So what I realized is that so many people were coming and they didn't know how to go about doing drag. They didn't know as to who to look forward to when they needed help, and they didn't know where to go. So I decided that I'm going to help them. I decided that, I believe in
Lovely.
sustainable fashion. I believe I probably worn this and my Ganji for the 200th time on camera, and I don't care anymore because I think that we need to talk about
Yes.
sustainability. We need to talk about using lesser and only what we need. And this is what I've if I had to say this to myself 10 years back, I would have laughed at myself. My 20-year-old self would have laughed at me today and said, why should I'm earning
Yeah,
the money,
yeah,
I want to buy this. But I think that, as you grow older and you experience,
yes,
when you see that, people don't have, even basic necessities and basic amenities. And I felt really bad that these kids came to
yes.
Bombay with a dream, and they had to go back. If in case they didn't book a show, they would have had to go back. And I was like, you
Hmm,
ain't going back.
hmm,
You are not going back.
hmm,
And so I dressed them up.
hmm,
I gave them, classes on how to hold the
hmm.
mic and, hold the audience and, interact with the audience. I told
Oh,
them what they, I still do that. My house is open, my home is open, my wardrobes are open to younger drag queens, and they know that,
hmm,
that need help. Wigs are not very cheap,
hmm,
so if
hmm.
they need my
Yeah.
wigs, if and then the only thing is they better wash it and give it back. But and I'm fine. I don't have the celebrity tantrums like, oh my god, he touched my wig and I'm not going to use it ever again. No, I mean, like, let's be, on one hand we say let's be human, let's help somebody else, and let's uplift each other. And then on the
Hmm,
other hand you see these
hmm,
hypocritical people, passing such judgments.
hmm,
And I think that, it's
hmm.
absolutely, yeah, I don't even have words to describe. I would cuss if I had to, but it's past 8 p.m. and
Mm,
I don't
mm,
cuss post 8 p.m. Once the sun has set. Yeah, but
mm,
but I try my best to help them and groom them and mentor them in a way where,
mm,
sometimes, even if they need monetary support, I if I
mm,
even if I'm not in
mm,
town and if I can't immediately transfer it to them, I'll have somebody book them for a show so that they get the money and they don't have to like repay it to them without having the money. So I think that, this is
mm.
something basic we all can do. We all can help other people,
Right.
coming up, and we all can do our bit. And I think that is something we need to
Yes.
understand, is that the intensity of the amount of help that you can probably provide
Mm,
might vary
mm.
from person to person, but
Yes.
everyone can help
Yes.
everyone. And I think that is a universal truth. So I think we need to start, uh, you know, working around and walking the talk.
Yes, absolutely. Like you said something really relevant. We have to look at sustainability and looking at lessening our needs. Flattening the desire is something which is also important, as important as flattening the curve is. And I keep saying
Yes.
this over and over again, as a very good friend of mine said. Um, just one very last question before I move on to the ending. Um, so have you experienced any kind of hierarchy within the LGBTQIA plus community, and where drag is concerned, or is there kind of a um, femophobia or anything, any kind of hierarchy or discrimination that you experience over there?
Any community, I'll tell you, whether it is, when you see women bringing down other women and then judging other women at a party and being like, what has she worn? Oh my God, what is she like walking in with that man? Is she serious? Women bring down women, men bring down men, the gays bring down the gays. And this is a universal truth again. And my thing is that, which is why when we say that, you're a community, it comes again, as I said, that it comes from a place of not being accepted or not being loved. But my thing is that try working on yourself, because if that's the aura that you're going to surround yourself with, people are going to distance themselves
Hmm.
because they don't want to, their aura to stench of yours if yours is so toxic.
Yes.
So I just want to say that, of course, there is femphobia. There's all sorts of phobia. There's all sorts of phobia. There, we are ageist,
Hmm.
and as human beings, we are like this. We
Yes.
are not very accepting of diversity as human beings, because anything that is different from us is difficult for us to like kind of come to terms with. And I don't know why, because
Hmm.
I don't see how we are so different. You have two eyes, I have two eyes, I breathe the same air, I have emotions, you have emotions. How are we so
Hmm.
different? Why are we so different?
Yes.
I have my
Yes.
friends I have friends who have disabilities, and they don't consider us
Yes.
different. So why do these people
Yes.
who have got everything consider each other different? Why, on the basis of who has
Yes.
created these religions and caste and orientation, and on the basis of color and creed and gender? What is all this nonsense? So, I think we need to
Yeah.
understand that, we belong to one race, and that's humanity. So I'm not trying to be, win another pageant by saying this, but this is the honest
Mm.
truth. It's the
It
honest
is.
truth.
Today
And
it
if
is.
you
Today it
can't,
really is.
yes, and if you can't say anything
Mm.
nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. Like the song,
Yeah.
you say it
Brilliant.
best when you say nothing at all. So if you don't have anything good to say, shut up.
Love that. So, Sushant, I don't know if you know about it, but Sakshi is currently engaged with working with about 40 lakh youth across the country through the Rakshin
Right,
Project, and we are working on stopping child sexual abuse. Yeah. And
right,
in this particular program, we have a very simple maxim that we're trying to take forward. We say, "Na karenge, na karne denge." अगर हो रहा है तो रोक के रहेंगे और अगर हुआ है तो बोल के रहेंगे. And with all of this, and you know what, our
wow,
stats are saying, one in two children are sexually abused in India. And if you're talking about that, then mental health for us becomes a very, very important aspect of the work that we are doing. And you are a mental health professional, and you also speak a lot about emphasis on how important mental health is. So, what would be the three things that you would like to say to our young viewers, the Rakshins?
I think, I'm very bad at giving suggestions. I think people should stop suggesting to people anything, because I think that it's your journey, it's your life. But because we have gone through that age ourselves, and you will also agree that uh, there's one thing that is common for any teenager or any young person, and that is anxiety.
Hmm.
Okay, all of us experience anxiety in whatever way, whether it is about our looks, it's about our brother doing better than us,
Hmm.
or it is, for anything, for some complex or the other, there is while you're growing up, because there is a change, not only bodily, but also your environments are changing. You're going from school to college. You're just thrown out in the open in the world, and it's a big bad world, as they say. And we are all exposed to anxiety. Again, the levels differ, okay, but there are some children who are
Hmm.
resilient. They come out of it so well. My only thing is that if you ever feel that you need to talk to
Hmm.
someone, ask for help.
Hmm.
That is the first thing to do.
Yes.
Nobody will judge you, let me tell you that.
Hmm.
Okay, I just received a message from somebody who I had spoken to very randomly, who had messaged me on Instagram today, and I've shared it in my
Hmm.
story in
Hmm.
2018. And I just chatted with her for about an hour, and in 2018, and
Mm-hmm.
she was about to kill herself, and she didn't. And
Oh.
today she is so and she's happy about her life, and she's married, and she's met the man of her dreams. And she just said thank you so much, because if I hadn't reached out, because I was so
Hmm.
helpless, I had to reach out to somebody. Now a
Hmm.
lot of people are also like, should I reach out to this person? Would that person help?
Hmm.
My thing is that at least try.
Hmm.
Try try and
Yes.
speak to someone.
Yes.
And it's always difficult, I'll tell you that. Even today I find it difficult to speak about
Hmm.
some things to my parents or my counselor. Even I have a counselor, like, and we are not gods, we are not magicians, that we know everything. We also need to be tweaked and fixed here and there. And I think that any uh, counselor or therapist that tells you what to do is a bad therapist or is a bad counselor.
Hmm.
Okay, you never force anybody.
Yes.
You can never force your clients to do what you think. So conversion
Yes.
therapy, shock treatment, and all of this for very basic
Hmm.
issues,
Hmm.
which will, of course, if they
Hmm.
build up, will lead to
Hmm.
neurosis, psychosis eventually. But if they can be
Hmm.
curbed by
Hmm.
conversation and counseling, then they need to be at least exposed to
Hmm.
that first. So please ask about things. Don't straight
Yes.
away start popping pills. Don't just watch some film or go to Google. Google is not a doctor. There are people who have actually studied medicine, they have studied the human body, they've studied psychosomatic disorders, and that's why they are there out in the real world where you can actually ask for help. So I would just like to say, don't feel afraid if you're being abused, if you're being tortured, if you're being mentally or physically, you're not in a good space. Please reach out.
Mm.
Don't worry, nobody will
Yes.
judge you. I just want to tell you, you're not alone. And the third thing is that don't don't assume. Don't assume. But why? What happens is that they say that assumptions are the mother of all dash. Okay, so and that is
Yes.
true, because sometimes what happens is that a lot of children which are a product of broken families, for example. I'm just taking a very arbid example, but
Mm.
children that
Yeah.
are, offsprings of like that come from broken families, they think that if they speak about this, they will be ostracized. Their peers will ostracize them. They
Yes.
will be, they will not,
Yes.
have any friends left. And this is a very wrong thing to assume. This is one of the assumptions. I think it is wrong to assume anything unless you're solving a mathematics sum, when you need to assume this is x is equal to y.
Yes.
Other than that, you should not assume anything.
Yes.
My thing is that you have to, your your premises or premise have to be very strong for you to reach a conclusion. You cannot
Yes.
base your conclusion on fallacies and assumptions. So
Yes.
that is something that I
Yes.
want to just tell the youngsters, because you are the future of tomorrow. Nobody can change that. And if there are people, my father says this, and he's such a sweetheart, he's a cow. My father has never harmed anybody in his life, but he tells me, I mean, if somebody has, there's one time he had bashed somebody in a pub, I remember, because they were trying to act fresh with me, and they didn't realize that my father is sitting on the table with me, and that's the only time he had whacked somebody. But other than that, I've never heard him be. But he tells me also that when I was growing up, he said that don't worry about old people and what they think. They'll die eventually. And it's true. It sounds very, but my dad was like, don't worry
Yeah.
about old
Truth.
people, they'll die. Huh? You have your whole life ahead. Don't worry about them. Okay, you do
Yes.
your thing. And
Yes.
you should do your thing so
Yes.
well that other people also want to do their own thing to their fullest, to their optimum. So I
Absolutely.
think that,
Brilliant. Brilliant.
what did my father say wrong? I think it's absolutely right. And I would
Hmm.
also like to reiterate
Absolutely
that.
right.
Yeah, and I just want to tell,
Yes, of course.
people that people have an opinion. Everybody, लोगों का तो काम है कहना. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना.
Yes.
But you have to
गा
just,
के बोलो ना
put your
सुशांत.
कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातों से, ना 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 I don't remember the song. Something, yeah. It was a very old song, but I mean, and my inspirations. And
Yeah.
again, I would like to tell the youth
Yeah.
that don't feel afraid. I
Yeah.
am not afraid to say even today that my inspirations are not, oh my God, somebody who's trending right now. No, my inspirations are Geeta Dutt, Asha Bhosle, Helen, Usha
I
Uttup,
love Geeta
and
Dutt. Yes.
even more than that, I think I would say Suraya. Suraya was beautiful. So my thing is, I'm 29, but
Yes.
I'm not going to be aloof from the fact that, oh my God, these were legendary people that came in our industry and
They were
created such a
legendary.
furor. Yeah, and I love it, Madhubala.
Absolutely.
And I think
Oof.
yes, and our
Yes.
children must celebrate the land that they are born in. We are one of the most, absolutely
Yes.
not one of the most. I would just take the liberty to say that we are the best country in the world.
Yes.
Okay, the people in our
Yes.
country,
Yes.
the country is the best. Some people in our country might be whatever, but there are always
Yeah,
exceptions to
whatever.
the cause. So we need to show
Yes,
the
just to
world
prove
how
the rule,
beautiful
yes.
we are. Yeah, and that is only going to happen when we start accepting and loving each other unconditionally.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your favorite song you said was Top of the World, right? Carpenters?
Yes,
like this.
yes. I'm on the top of the world and looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I feel. Oh, na, 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 na. Your love makes me run on top of the world. But by now, you might have realized that I'm very bad with lyrics. But you know, but this is also one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
the beautiful voice makes up for it. It's just
Yes,
been
I
so
didn't realize it's
delightful
been an
talking to you,
hour.
Sushant.
Wow.
I mean, I just don't know where the hour has gone, but we
Yes.
are at the end of the hour here today. So yeah, so thank you so much. So I think what's the most important thing that's come out for me is that, you know, um, carving a path to express yourself in a skin that feels comfortable and true to yourself. And that is the inspiration that we want all our viewers, our friends, young and old, to go with this, you know. But, and also to, I mean, we all want to be visible, right? We all want to be visible. But it's a
Yeah.
complicated affair, isn't it? Because being visible can create some dangers as well, and so we need to be careful about how we protect ourselves.
Yes.
And you have really said the gospel truth really is about being true to yourself in how you express yourself. So I'm sure my young
Thank you. And
viewers
I
are
would
going to
just
get a
like to
lot
go
out of
one step
this. And
further. I
and
would just like
listening
to
to
go
you
one
sing
step
was
further and say
absolutely
that in case
amazing.
they ever want to talk
Thank
to
you so
anybody
much,
and they don't
Sushant.
have anybody,
Thank you.
they can always talk to me, and they can always because I have realized that everybody calls me mother, mother, mummy, mama. But then I have like I think now I have come to terms with the fact that I think motherhood is an emotion, and it can happen to at any age, right? So and it's not based on gender, and motherhood is an
Yeah.
emotion. So I am very proud to say that yes, I can be the
Yes.
mother hen, and if anybody has anything to share, I will not. I will be
Lovely.
very unbiased, and I will help you through it. So don't be afraid to ask for help. That's all I have to say. And I will reply. I usually reply to as many people as I can. Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure many.
Thank you. No?
I'm sure many will take you up on that offer, Sushant. So watch out for that. I would just like to also share very quickly about Sakshi's campaign that we are running. We are running a campaign called Make Home a Safe Space on
Sure.
Keto. So please visit that and encourage us to create a Rakshin in each home
Absolutely. Thank
capable of
you.
de-escalating violence and preventing child sexual abuse. I also want to invite you and all our viewers to our we want to invite you also to a free view webinar that we have every Sunday, which is for anyone who wants to join the movement against sexual abuse and specifically child sexual abuse and become a Rakshin, who for us stands for somebody who's committed to preventing harm. So I would like to
How
welcome you
sweet
as
is
a
that?
Rakshin for everything that you're saying. For me, you
Thank
stand
you.
as
And
a
it's a
Rakshin.
pleasure. But the
So
pleasure
I'm
is
so
all
happy
mine. Thank
to
you so
have
much for
spoken with
having
you
me.
today, Sushant.